We're not children here. We know what the fuck it is. Yeah, I think people are getting way ahead of themselves. Okay. Oh shit. Here it is. The Donald Trump interview on Impulsive. But in any case, ultimately, it's not like peaceful protest is getting the message across. It doesn't really matter. To each their own. Okay. I'm not going to say it's bad to protest against Zionism. I'm not going to say that it's bad to protest against Israel. It is objectively good to protest against Zionism, and it is objectively good to protest against Israel. Like, just be more careful with the optics of it. Overall, people are looking for anything and everything they can to basically bastardize it. But that's it. It's the same principle I've held in the Black Lives Matter protests. It's the same exact principle that I've held in every any other kind of protest where there are large groups of the population protesting against unjustifiable hierarchies, oppressive constructs, violence, militarism, Western chauvinism, imperialism, police brutality, white supremacy, transphobia. No matter what it is, there are always going to be people that go above and beyond and sometimes get a little overzealous. But ultimately, you have to be careful. You have to be careful with the way you present yourself. You have to be careful with the way you present your cause. But still, ultimately, I'm not going to fucking sit around and be like, well, that's really fucked up. Unless they like go and literally do a hate crime. In which case, I feel like the red triangle shit is like, it's nearing that territory for sure. It's like, you can't do that. That's ridiculous. You're threatening the safety of a person. Like that's not productive protest at all. Red paint, I'm on board with. Red paint on the outside of like, I don't know, like a meeting or mobilization, any kind of like Zionist institution that is like directly funding and facilitating or hosting a speaker event or whatever the fuck. Like red paint is historically meant to imply you have blood on your hands. On the whole lesser evil meme discourse strange. I don't have to orientalize, fetishize, idealize, or defend Hamas. They're authoritarian religious fundamentals who attack civilians as a resistance tactic. They're also far more pragmatic than anyone gives them credit and have played an important role in grassroots Palestinian society. I demand a ceasefire because their children are losing their mothers and mothers are losing their children every day. Anything else is on the margins. Yeah, no, the reason why I mentioned the lesser evil meme discourse is because I'm talking to Americans. Overall, I think it's up to the Palestinian people on which way they will go in the future. And the conversation surrounding the rebuilding of Gaza and putting Palestinian Authority in charge is ridiculous. Hamas is more popular than the Palestinian Authority in the eyes of the Palestinians, especially in the West Bank, obviously, which should be very interesting for people to comprehend. Why is the West Bank? Why does the West Bank have a more favorable view of Hamas than the actual people living under Hamas? Is a pretty important thing to investigate, I think. Having said that, however, that is me softening the approach for a lot of people who in the Western world look at that and go, "Oh, they're a terror cell, they're terrorists, they're terrorists, they're terrorists," and that automatically shuts off that conversation. That designation causes people to not even look at or take seriously any of the demands made by Hamas. That makes it so that you can't even negotiate with them because Americans don't believe you can negotiate with terrorists. They are very pragmatic, though. That is true, which is why they've seen, unless they're white, i.e. IRA. No. Guys, the ANC and the IRA did a lot of fucking violence against civilians as well. But you're delusional if you compare them to Hamas. The PLO maybe, but not fucking Hamas. PFLP, DFLP, you could say that about, but you can't say that about Hamas. Get the fuck out of here. But ultimately it doesn't matter because their major function here isn't the domestic affairs inside of Gaza or anything right now. Their major function is leading the Palestinian resistance. The Palestinian resistance against what? The Palestinian resistance against apartheid and occupation. But come on, not to be like one of those guys who's like, oh, you wouldn't like this if you went to Gaza. But it's not like we don't see eye to eye on anything outside of the Israeli occupation. Okay, that's it. That's how I feel. Are you saying the IRA is better or worse than Hamas? No, obviously, a group that is it to a Marxist perspective, a Marxist perspective is a little bit different, in my opinion, than a group that was like originally started as a Muslim Brotherhood charity. Just because they're, you know, I mean, they are the only game in town. That's it. There's nothing else. So it is what it is. There's nothing wrong with Muslim Brotherhood and Islamic movements. Bro, I'm Muslim. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, what do you mean? Like, I come from that part of the world where fundamentalist Muslims have literally been used and propped up by the American state as a perfect counterbalance against literally secular socialist resistance fronts against colonial occupation. So yeah, I think I'm going to have a little bit more of a, I don't know, I think I'm going to have a little bit of a distaste for Islamic fundamentalism, but to a certain degree. That's why, like, same shit with Iran. Same shit with Iran. Do I love Iran's domestic affairs? Absolutely not. But as far as resisting Western imperialism in the region, they're the major game in town. That's it. That's it. Anyway, Paul Bowman and George Latimer face off in heated debate ahead of the Democratic primary, but we're moving on from that to Logan Paul and Mike Malak. Friend of the show, Mike Malak, has a podcast called Impulsive. Some of you may know it, some of you may not. Very big podcast. And they, yesterday, had a conversation with a particular individual with a red tie. That particular individual is also known as Donald John Trump, the current president of the United States of America, secretly, and the former president of the United States of America as well. Number 45, number 47, and maybe even number 46. Let's take a look at what happened in this process, in this conversation.
Biden is just so bad. He's the worst president in the history of our country.
You should make a diss track on him.
Yeah, we'll do something.
Do you think that you're starting to soften your views on some of the networks that you may have not gotten along with in the past?
No, they're fake news.
He had a street fight this past week.
And how did it work out?
How you think, Mr. President?
I think you probably did pretty good. I've watched enough of you fighting.
Unidentified aerial phenomena in the sky. We don't know what they are. Do you?
It's very possible. Really powerful stuff. AI. They made a commercial, me promoting a product, and it wasn't me. And I said, did I make that commercial?
Rap beefs. Big rap beef just happened. Drake or Kendrick?
This is going to be great.
I think so too.
Looking forward to this all my life.
On the one hand, I'm like thinking about the ethics of such a thing, you know, like promoting Donald Trump, which is like hilarious to say because he was the fucking president. He's like, why are you platforming Trump? It's like a funny thing to say. But also on the other hand, I'm like, it's such great content. And honestly, my content brain side gets way excited. Yeah, that was me on the trailer. I was there.
My whole life. Anyway, hi fellas, how you doing?
How are you, boss?
How's your brother? Good?
Yeah, he's excellent.
You have a good relationship with him, right?
With Jake?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do now. But it's not always been like that.
It's always been, yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good.
Taylor Tyson, who you got?
Yeah, right?
Who you got?
When is that gonna be?
November. It got rescheduled.
Well, look, Mike was fantastic, but, you know, Mike's a little older now.
Yeah.
And you guys can fight.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that, but you guys can really fight, legitimately fight.
Thank you, sir.
At first I said, it's so amazing because I always thought like a UFC guy or a top, even contender would be able to win at 75 years old.
You think?
But it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, yeah.
The clock is still the clock.
Yeah. I figured that out with Floyd as well.
Yeah, how about that, right?
I don't know.
I mean, it was even.
Yeah, which
You would
shouldn't
have
make...
thought he would have won that fight.
That's what I thought.
That was your
Yeah.
baby.
Some people still think he did
This
win
is
that
for you
fight.
guys.
Oh, no way. We got gifts.
So a lot of money this thing.
Oh, no way. Thank you, President.
He split it up. Here's.
Oh, amazing.
This is
Is this your mugshot?
This is, yeah, can you believe it?
You're a gangster.
This is what we're reduced to.
No way. No way.
Should we put them on now?
I'm so jealous. Like, oh my God. I'm jealous, but also I'm excited because like I don't think I've ever been this close, like this immediately and directly close to Donald Trump. Like, think about it, chat. This man sitting in the corner, the host of the Impulsive podcast, has sat here. You know what I mean? This is literally the closest I have been to Donald Trump. That's mighty parasocial of you. Yeah, I am parasocial for Trump.
That's amazing.
Why didn't you ask him to mention you? Dude, if I knew, I would have helped them produce this. 100%. I would have given him some fucking solid questions. Like, not like obviously contentious ones, but like questions that would trip him up at least a little bit, but massaged in a way where it's like a good enough question that he will answer it.
Tells. Well, Elvis had one. Frank Sinatra had one.
This shirt?
But we've eclipsed him. A long time ago, we've eclipsed him.
This is crazy.
It's pretty cool. Isn't it cool?
I have to be honest, I'm
It's
jealous.
actually, you know, I'm not sure if I love it or not, but
No, it's
it
good.
is what it is.
It happened, and might as well monetize it.
Well, Mr. President, people surely love it. They love the picture. They rallied behind it. They're rallying behind you now.
Well, they
More
are.
than ever.
And you know, we had the biggest fundraising, I think, ever for any candidate ever anywhere in the world in the last 8 or 9 days. In hundreds of millions of dollars. And too bad it couldn't have been done for other reasons, but they viewed the case as being so corrupt and so ridiculous. You know, every one of the legal pundits, and, you know, they're great guys. When you look at Dershowitz, the whole group, you know, that whole group of people.
Bringing up Alan Dershowitz to Logan Paul and Mike Malak is crazy. Okay? They have no fucking idea what you're talking about. Okay? And if they did, they would probably not even be that fond of Alan Dershowitz, also known to the average human being as Jeffrey Epstein's pedophile lawyer. It's like, yeah, Mark Levin, good guy. It's like, dude, these guys don't fucking know Mark Levin. What are you saying?
Andy McCarthy, Jonathan Turley, Jarrett, every one of them, they came out.
That's
and
so
they
funny. Bringing up Jonathan Turley to Logan Paul. Great guy, Jonathan Turley. Call him Jonathan Turdley. There is something very funny about this.
Said there's not even a case here. There's no case. And when they saw the jury instructions, when they saw all the things that happened, and it's not like anybody's a friend of mine. Mark Levin is an example. They couldn't believe it. So unfair. You know, it's a very unfair thing. And because of that, the fundraising numbers and the polls, but the fundraising, that's sort of like a poll anyway, right? When you get right down to it. But the fundraising numbers went, I don't think there's.
What? Bro, if fundraising numbers are like a poll, Biden is winning by Reagan percentages. The fuck? Like, okay, let's talk about a couple things. Number one, did he get, ew, oh my God, that shit got stuck in her throat. You are such a fat ass. Hey, no, drop it. Back to Donald Trump with Logan Paul.
There's ever been that much money raised that quickly.
You've become a martyr of
Hundreds
sorts.
of millions of dollars.
Yeah, it's insane. $140 million in May that you raised.
Just
35 million in just hours after the birth.
You've become a martyr of sorts.
Yeah, 58 million within a few hours. And that was in small donations, like $71, something average. And over a period of a week, we even went to San Francisco. Now, not supposed to be, that's the belly of the beast, right?
Rare
Supposedly.
visit.
But they had thousands of people on the street. It was so positive, and they raised $12 million. The tech guys, one of the houses, David, fantastic people, and they were like, they gave me a lot of money. They've never been into doing that. And I think it helps that Biden is just so bad. He is so bad. He is the worst president in the history of our country. So that helps too.
You should make a diss track on him.
Yeah, we'll do something. We'll do something.
I actually wanted to start there.
Go ahead.
Because one thing that I just can't seem to wrap my head around it is, you know, you got these felony convictions and a lot of it, like more than Al Capone, right? And there was an uprising and people showed you their support with their donations. And a lot of people are saying it points out that actually the unjust nature of
Bro, I love how woefully unprepared Logan Paul is to have this conversation. He's just like saying words, okay? My man has been given a script, okay? This is awesome. He's like, yeah, an uprising is happening. It's just like Al Capone. It's like, what are you saying, big dog? Oh, it's so good. Please, Michael, bring it in. Bring it in.
Of America's justice system. So
Very unjust.
my question is, like, if that is your belief, if that is their belief, why do you have the desire to give your time and energy to a country or a system that's trying to take you down?
So
Someone in the chat said this is just like those Modi interviews. It's so real. It's like, Mr. President, what's your favorite color? Mr. President, how do you eat a mango? Mr. President, sir, why do you devote so much of your time and energy to this beautiful country that you love, even when this beautiful country that you love has done so many wrong things to you?
I ran twice. I did much better the second time than the first time. And if I didn't, I wouldn't have done this. But we had it going like this country has never been going before. It was really good. Now it's really bad. The worst border in history, the worst inflation, I think, in history. I think the history of the country, the people are getting decimated by it. All very flex, all something you can fix. You can fix it fast. We were energy independent. We're going to be energy dominant very soon. All these things were happening. And then we had a terrible result in an election. And what happened was disgraceful. And we can't ever let it happen again. But
I can't understand how we live on this planet. Like, I'm alive at a time when the fucking former president who's running for re-election is going on the podcast of a dude I know very well. What the fuck how are we alive right now? I mean, I guess, oh my God, look at the painting above Mike. Oh my God. Okay. I guess if we're keeping it $150, he did go on Alex Jones last time he ran.
But, we have a little expression. It's right on that hat. Make America great again. And we can do that. Make America great again. And this guy is not going to do it. This guy's destroyed our country. When you allow 15, 16, 17, they have no idea where the gotaways. Million people coming out of jails, coming out of mental institutions, insane asylums all over the world. The mental institutions, they're at the lowest levels. They've been at it for years. They're going to be totally empty. And you have terrorists coming into our country. We're going to be paying a big price, and we're going to solve the problem, and we're going to solve it relatively quickly. But we have other problems, too, with energy, with inflation. He's been a disaster as a president. He's the worst president.
I love the impulsive zoom cuts on Donald Trump doing his tight five. Yeah, energy crisis, inflation, it's all happening. Meanwhile, it's like boom, cut, zoom cut, zoom cut, zoom cut. That's hilarious, dude.
President we've ever had. The good news is he makes Jimmy Carter look brilliant by comparison. So Jimmy Carter
Why are you laughing at that, Logan? Do you get that reference?
is the only one that's happy with this.
Logan, you get that reference, big dog? What are you laughing at? Dude, bringing up Mark Levin to Logan Paul and Mike Malak is ridiculous. I will never let go of this, okay? Logan, jealousy doesn't suit you? Okay, shut the fuck up. I am jealous. I'm jealous as fuck. I am.
Well, look, I think that's why a lot of people are so obsessed with you, Mr. Trump, Mr. President Trump. Well, because you're already a billionaire, right? You are essentially serving these people, and you don't have to be doing it. The president.
No.
What? What does that mean? How does a billionaire serve people? Come on, bro. What is happening? Where is the Logan Paul of Black Lives Matter? I want that Logan Paul to come back. Okay. I want the Logan Paul that was like, yeah, that's right. Systemic racism is real. We need to put an end to that shit.
Being the president seems like a very hard job. You were at 3 meetings just before this,
Sure.
but
Okay, he's not president right now. And that's number one. And number two, like, okay, if you read enough, and back when I used to read books all the time about how Donald Trump became president, because it was a fascinating story. And I don't think he thought he was going to be president, big dog. I don't think so. He just kind of got in there and was like, oh shit, he didn't think he was going to be president. Also, he's not a billionaire. I don't think he's a billionaire at all, actually. Like, this was a shocking turn of events for Donald Trump. I think it was The Devil's Bargain, Joshua Green's book. It's like literally one of the last books I can remember reading, where they talk about like how he's just kind of sitting there and no one thinks he's gonna win, including himself. Or was it Fire and Fury? Maybe The Devil's Bargain is the book about Steve Bannon. It's a really good book. I really like that. It's one of the last books I read, which is crazy. Holy shit. Yeah, I think that is literally one of the last books I fucking read before I became a Twitch streamer. And then since then, I have not read a single goddamn book, I don't think. I tried reading Dune. I stopped. After that, I decided books are gay. Yeah, well, shut up, bitch. I read enough books. And I still read. I just fucking read chat, you know? Books make you dumb. Good job, yeah. Stop watching weeb shows and read. No, dude, I read professionally every fucking day. I read articles every goddamn day. It's just like, no, by the end of the 8-hour process of me reading, I'm like, you know what? I think I've done enough reading. I don't want to fucking read no more. That part is not even a joke. I do read, I don't read books because I don't have time to read books. And I read too much. I read too many articles, too much shit online when I'm live every day for 8 hours.
I guess I'm asking, like, the desire to run.
It sounds like me claiming I'm still a writer because I write a lot of Reddit arguments arguing liberals. Well, here's the difference. Joshua Green is a journalist. Joshua Green's book is a compilation of some of the research and some of the journalism that he's done. So when I say I'm reading a lot of fucking articles, I'm basically reading the book before the book is done. You know what I mean? I'm not reading Reddit and being like, I'm reading a lot. Also, imagine fucking admitting that you're writing a lot of Reddit arguments. That's crazy.
An attempt to improve your country for these things you're saying.
Yeah.
It comes from what? Just the love of the
Well,
country?
the people, I'll tell you, when you look at the people, when you look at the crowds, I did a rally in New Jersey. We had 107,000 people there. You saw that last week. We did one in the Bronx. We had 25,000 people. And this was in the South Bronx, which is known as a rough area. And it was like a love fest. There was not even like, nobody even raised a voice of dissent. The whole place, it was like a big love fest. Nobody could believe it. You saw that 3-4 weeks ago. There's tremendous, our country has tremendous potential, but it's going down the tubes very, very rapidly. Nobody has ever seen anything like it, the way it's being run. So bad. And we can change it. We can change it quickly. We have a debate coming up. That'll be interesting.
June
That'll be-
27th,
yeah.
hosted by one of your favorite television networks, CNN.
Well, they gave me the option. They said, would you do it? And they didn't want to do it. He didn't want to do it. So they gave me everything. Fake Tapper and lots of other people that were going to, were involved on CNN.
I mean, look, Trump is a serial yapper and he lies about everything and he does it in a very convincing way because he's like very confident. And I'm thinking like, how would I react in this situation? And like, yeah, I'm fucking armchair quarterback in here and being like, oh, I would like address some of the lies that he's saying, but like, I probably wouldn't. Like, I wouldn't be able to if he's just like fucking sequentially deploying lies over and over again. And I would definitely drop some of the sillier things that he's talking about with like how big the crowd is in the Bronx. You know what I mean? You just kind of have to let him yap. Fart? What fart? Why are people saying fart?
They wanted it to be seated, which I didn't like. I said we should stand, and I think we won that point. But I would have agreed to whatever I had to agree to because they didn't want to do it. They thought that I wouldn't do it because it's CNN, but I've done plenty of CNN. I did a town hall not so long ago with CNN that worked out well. But I think they'll be fair. I think they're going to try and be fair. I mean, as fair as they can be. But I think it's important for there to be a debate. So they said, you want to debate? Yep, I'll accept. You don't even have to tell me. Then they said CNN. They said the different people that are involved. But let's see what happens. I used to get along with Jake Tapper. We'll see what happens. But it doesn't matter. Whatever it is, it is.
That sentiment that CNN might be fair to you,
They might be.
is a bit of a departure
I'd
from
say
your
a good
normal
10% chance.
from your normal hardline stance. Do you think that you're starting to come around or soften your views on some of the networks that you may have not gotten along with in the past?
No, they're fake news.
Yeah, fake news.
No, they're so bad. One of the good terms, right? Fake news. But
Dude, this is why he's so good at like, or was so good originally. Like, look, Logan's ears perked up when he said fake news because from Logan's framework, he is basically like Barney. You know what I mean? It's like talking to Mickey Mouse. And you know, this is a catchphrase, right? Like he's basically repeating his catchphrase. So people are going, "Oh my God, you're repeating your catchphrase that you're famous for." And a lot of us like to assume that we don't view politics as team sport. We understand how serious this kind of stuff is, but like, no, the overwhelming majority of Americans, due to the duopoly stranglehold and the one party in practice, duopoly in theory system that we have, feel exactly the same way that these guys do, where it's just like, it doesn't really matter. This is a character. You know what I mean? That's it. Most Americans that feel like they're above like Logan's analysis of Donald Trump, like a famous copyrighted character saying a catchphrase, unironically also do the exact same thing.
No, I don't think so. I thought maybe, you know, I had one with
like every single liberal in the chat that has been like, you don't understand, voting for Biden is going to save America, as opposed to Donald Trump, who's going to ruin America. Like, you are doing the same thing that Logan's doing, but just like in the opposite direction. And at least Logan Paul understands that he's not the, you know, the brightest light bulb in the room when it comes down to fucking, you know, politics.
Caitlin Collins about 4 or 5 months ago. It was one of the highest rated shows they've ever had. And I really thought they were going to go maybe sort of in the middle, but I was wrong about, as I'm getting on and I'm hearing the way I'm being announced, they said, hey, these people are playing hardball. They're making a big mistake, but the ratings for this debate, I guess, will be quite good.
Massive. Are you surprised by his decision to face-to-face with you?
You mean the fact that they're willing to do it?
That Biden's willing
a little
to do
bit. They didn't want to do it. They thought I turned CNN down. Look, CNN is the enemy. And they thought I was going to turn CNN, and Tapper is, you know, one of the guys that, I mean, when I'm making a speech, so they're waiting for the nomination for months and months. I got it in the quickest fashion. Nobody's ever gotten a nomination so quickly. And I'm making my nomination speech, and they refuse to put it. They're covering it for months and months. Now I'm actually making my speech. I mean, this is the big night. I won the nomination, and they refuse to put it on. These are people that don't like Trump, but it's okay.
Remember when Jake Tapper called you a misogynist? You know what's really funny about this? I don't even remember tweeting this out, but like the very same people that back in the day were celebrating this, I'm willing to bet, would now, if I were to tweet this, would try to get me banned. You know what I mean? Like all the people that used to be like little libs in this audience, in this community, would 100%. They're the same ones who were like, I can't believe Hasan said that to Tom Cotton. Fix your stream, emotes are flying. I can't. It's like a bit reward or something. Everyone's doing on-screen celebrations. I mean, whatever. I don't really give a shit. I don't see it.
Okay, because I think it's important to have a debate, or a number of debates, actually.
The fact that you are so
You can set it higher in your settings. Wait, really? How do I fucking set it higher? Is it on the alerts side? No. How do I do that? Is it on community, activity, followers list, roles manager? No. It just sucks when chatters do it during serious discussions. On your dashboard, go to rewards, on-screen celebrations. Dashboard, go to rewards. Where the fuck are the rewards on my dashboard? God, I never look at my fucking rewards or my dashboard. Where is it? Monetization, viewer rewards, power-ups and channel points. Rewards, drops, emotes, power-ups. Manage power-ups and channel points. Enable channel points. We've temporarily removed the ability to enable or disable channel points. Gigantify an emote. What the fuck? You can gigantify an emote? Okay, let's do that. 5,000 for that. On-screen celebrations. Let's get our money up, folks. 20,000 for on-screen celebrations. Oh, fuck. Maxed out at 10,000. God damn it. That's crazy that they won't let you cancel it. And the only way you can do that is if you get like, okay, here. All right, maxed it out. There you go. It's in bits, not channel points. Oh yeah, bits. Sorry. But it's like, it's crazy that they won't let you fucking do that. Like they won't let you fucking change the bits. Or you can only max it out to 10,000. You know what? I'm going to max out all of it to 10,000. Fuck it. Yeah. Yeah, if you want to fucking blast biddies on screen, you got to pay $100 or more even. 100 plus. Bitch. There you go. Yeah, let's see you fuck around now. Make it lower, bro. $5,050. I don't want you to do it. If you're a broke boy, I definitely don't want you to do it. Hitler of Twitch. Yeah. It's going to go crazy during the gaming segment. HasanAbi trust gaming frogs are rich. True. You can use other people's emotes if you're subbed. It's kind of insane. Yeah, I know. Where are you going, ma'am? Kaya. Where are you going, Kaya? Plays. Yeah, you know where you're going. You're not going nowhere. Sit your ass back down. When they came for the biddy spenders, I said nothing because I didn't spend any money on this. If it wasn't so fucking annoying and it didn't like block the entire stream for desktop viewers, I wouldn't care. But everybody started spamming that shit because it was like, you've just lost so much money. This was going to go crazy with bits, but I guess a socialist wouldn't understand. Yeah, I don't care. I didn't want fucking emotes blocking the whole goddamn screen while I'm streaming, okay? It's crazy. It's not even like a little bit. It literally fucking blocks the whole screen.
So vocal as well, especially on social media, I think works in your favor. And personally, I like that you come with receipts sometimes.
Yeah,
I've seen you pull them out of your,
No, I
in your
understand.
jacket. Will you have receipts?
I like to do it.
Well, fact checking's fun.
Yeah, I know. We'll check. We're gonna check a lot of things. It's gonna be an interesting. You will be watching, right?
I'll be watching.
We just don't want to schedule it around one of your fights.
Please
because
don't. Please
you
don't.
do pretty well.
Thanks. I'll be watching. Yeah, I always see you at
So
UFC.
do you have? By the way, do you ever fight your brother?
That's the
Little
question.
you want to know something?
I want to know.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
because you are both good. Do you ever fight him?
Thank you. I not in real life.
You
no.
practiced a little bit
Never.
with him, right?
We've never even sparred.
Really?
We don't know. I think
Did you beat him up your whole life?
I
growing
didn't.
up?
I punched him in the face once because he took my glasses. But I was willing to step in for Mike Tyson when Tyson got sick and had to postpone his fight. And we actually like ran it up the chain at Netflix.
It's hard for brothers to fight, though. I think it's hard.
Not for a
Years,
big
you know?
old bag. Like
Yeah, but
figure
there
it
have
out
been
once and
some,
for
though.
all.
I think it's. You don't think so? You love your brother.
Well, me and Jake decided that obviously, like, we both come from a place of love, and
Right.
whatever the outcome would be, we'd have to be okay with it. But obviously, I love my
No, but
brother.
the shots to the face and
Just one time though, for the rest of history, you know, that night goes down forever. The Klitschko brothers never did it.
no, they never did it, and they were both good, and they
Yeah.
never did it. They were very good, but in fact, nobody really figured out maybe who was better. They had some good fights. They were tough, right?
Yeah.
They
Well,
were tough.
Jake's tough and he's good, but I'm
He's,
1-0.
he's very good, and you're very good.
Thanks.
He had a street fight this past week against somebody from a squad you may know as the
tell me.
Nelk from the Nelk Boys.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
When you
one-
said you had it out with them?
An actual street fight.
No,
A
no,
fit-
but a friendly one or an unfriendly one?
Oh, it was pretty unfriendly.
Yeah,
I
it
was
not
there.
friendly. I would call it a waiver fight. I had
They
to
have
sign
a great following, though. They're nice guys.
We love them.
They have such a.
I think Trump's actually pretty talented talking about shit he's never heard of. Yeah, but this is stuff that he does know about. I think you forget, like, he likes UFC. He likes fighting. He likes boxing. Like, this is a real thing that he's interested in. He likes WWE. So for him, this is in the pocket.
You do. Good.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad because
Yeah.
I'm getting myself into a position here. They really are. They did. Dana White, who's fantastic.
for sure.
He said, "Would you do the Nelk Boys?" I didn't know who they were. I did it, and they have a tremendous audience, which you can
Ferocious.
Yeah.
tell right away. I did Dr. Phil the other day.
I saw it.
Yeah, he was
Amazing.
great.
We
No,
we
he
love
was
the Nelk Boys, by the way. The Nelk Boy we're talking about is like it's kind of like
His
an
name's
anti-
His name's Bradley Martin. He's a big guy because we know Kyle Forgard, Kyle, and John Shahidi for
Right?
years
That's-
now.
They're
But
great.
Bradley's this big 260-pound, bodybuilder, and for years he's called people out. I'm 260. I'll fight you, and got into it with Logan.
And how did it work out?
How you think, Mr. President?
I think he probably did pretty good. I've watched enough of you fighting.
It was off camera. It was cool. It was like a duel, like a good old fashioned, just boys being boys, no cameras.
It was a real deal.
The real deal.
And
No rules.
was he finished?
He quit.
He was. He did.
He quit. Yeah.
But we were very impressed with him. Actually,
He showed up.
He has no combat sports experience.
Yep.
Stepped up
So
to
he just
somebody.
had he had muscle, but not
I'm getting so close to Donald Trump. It's kind of crazy.
the. Not
Yeah.
the
Yep.
Just no training.
Yeah.
Just no training.
You ever been in a fist fight, Mr.
You are visibly squirming because they talking about Bradley Martin and not you, Lamau. No, why would the fuck would they bring me up? I have no relationship with Logan Paul. I've only been critical of Logan Paul. I love Mike. You guys know this. I will ride. I ride for Mike. I defend Mike all the time, vociferously. Okay. I have no expectation they're gonna ever bring me up to Donald Trump. Why would they do that?
President?
probably not. I've been.
I've
like
never even
little-
actually personally talked to Logan Paul ever.
There's nothing like.
I don't think I've ever been around Logan Paul now that I think about it, which is kind of crazy.
I mean, I'd like to say, yeah, I fought my way through school.
Right.
You know, I fought my way out of the Wharton School of Finance. but you know, we didn't
Hey,
have a lot
Big
of
Mike.
fighters.
Yeah.
Thank you for the 25 gifted, bro. This man goes in, does one interview, and is balling in the chat. Do you see this? Do you see this? That's crazy. That's crazy. He's flexing, dude. He's like, yeah, what's up? 25 gifted. It's nothing to me, dude. I interviewed the president. That's crazy. Oh my God. I can't believe it, dude. What does the world come to? What the fuck's happening? It's pretty cool. You should have brought me up. You should have brought me up, Mike. Should have fucking brought me up to the president. Should have been like, I have a friend. His name is HasanAbi Piker. Not too fond of you, sir. What do you have to say to him? But I have another friend. His name is Hank Pecker, and he loves you.
We have fighters, but not that kind of fighters. But I've had a lot of fun. I'll tell you, we had a great time. Over the years, I've been very much involved with Mike Tyson. Mike is a great guy. My son, a beautiful boy, Baron, and he loves Mike Tyson.
Big boy. Big boy.
He's huge.
He's a big boy, 6'9",
6'7".
and I couldn't get him to play basketball. He plays soccer.
Bro, he's 6'9". He needs to play basketball. You need to force your son to play basketball. That's a waste of Slovenian genes, okay? The fuck are we doing? He's bulking. He's 6'9". Get his ass on the court right now, bro. It's about to be the next Osama bin Laden. A waste of height, okay? His tall ass should have been balling too.
Soccer. He's a good athlete too. Good student.
Big
good
boy
athlete.
for soccer.
But he's 6'9".
It's insane.
Good looking guy, but he is a tall one. There's no question. I say, Baron, I don't want to take a picture next to you. It's
Fucking-
we ought to make him a fighter, maybe.
No, I don't want.
Guys, it's 2024. We want to spend less to save more. That's just a fact. But how? How?
Okay,
We always see
skipping
you
that.
a single gallon in your first tank of gas. Thank you, Upside. Back to the show.
We always see you at the UFC fights.
Yeah.
So you're obviously a fight fan.
I like it. I really enjoyed it. I think Dana White is one of a kind.
sure.
And he's been generous to me. He's made a great statement about me the other day.
I saw that.
That was a nice statement.
Well, because
but
you've
I
had
said-
his back for.
Well,
since-
I did, and rightfully. I think, the expression, everybody's
How would you
replaceable.
skip our ad? Come on, bro. You guys have enough money. You motherfuckers are posting up. How could you skip our ad? Unreal. Bro, you're literally posting prime fucking bottles on this interview, okay? You made enough money. You made enough money. This interview is going to go nutty mode with the ad rev too. I showed the link. It's ethical. It's ethical reacts.
Well, I'm not sure anybody could do the job he does is unbelievable.
Yeah.
He gets. I met Khabib, who's
I saw that.
29-0, and his father died, and he just said, "That's it for me." And his father was great at what he did, and probably he never lost even a round. I think 29-0. They say he never lost a round, and I thought he was great. And
Khabib for sure hates this motherfucker. No, he doesn't. Are you kidding me? Khabib literally walked up to him, shook his hand, and was like, "Mr. President, can you please?" The thing that I love about the fucking Dagestani fighters is they all speak English. Like it's like they love chirping. I think they recognize early on that like you got to be able to speak English so you can like talk shit. Yeah, Khabib walked up to him and was like, "Sir, please, Palestine, save them." And Trump, of course, was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna deal with it. Dagestani knows Russian. Of course they speak Russian. What are you talking about? Khabib's English is honestly pretty solid. Yeah, no, all the Dagestani fighters, all they do is train and speak English, bro, so they could talk shit better. Khabib's father convinced them to focus on English. It's smart. It's very, very, very smart to be able to speak English.
we got to speak. He was just about my favorite guy and really talented. The Strickland was fantastic the other night. I thought he was.
Good striker.
He was.
Everyone
oh,
wants to come out of the cage and meet you after they
They
win.
do.
And
Yeah,
when-
they
and when
do.
you-
I'm very honored by it. Every time they win.
You sound like Pakistani parents right now. I mean, it's true though. It's if you want to make it in American media, you have to be able to speak English. Like you become an infinitely more marketable figure when you can talk shit in English. Okay? The moment that it's not a subtitle that's saying what you're saying, but instead is directly coming out of your mouth, you've become an incredibly marketable entity. And the Dagestani fighters, I think, definitely understand that.
They jump out.
Yeah.
They jump out of that cage.
Yeah, Islam Makhachev said this.
Money is important.
Look,
Doesn't speak
Money is
English
important.
because nobody understands this guy. He doesn't speak English. English is important. If you want to make money, you have to speak some language which everybody understands.
so I gonna smash your boy. Go to sleep. It's sleep time. Go to sleep. No tap out. You don't tap out. Go to sleep. These people, they come here to see you. These people, they come here to see you. You talk shit. Go to sleep.
Like it's nothing. I don't know. It's pretty high, but they have no problem.
And when you enter the arena, there's an eruption of cheers.
Yeah.
But I remember, because I've been going to UFC for a while, like it wasn't always like that. There was a very clear like shift in the perception of you. Do you feel like you feel that now?
Yeah, it's like, talk now. Let's talk now. There's another one. Dude, think about how iconic that shit is, though. Now we talk. Talking now. Now we talking. Now we talk. Think about that, dude. That's insane. Send me location.
More than ever.
I don't know. You know, I've done it in Vegas, Miami. I do it with them with Dana. Dana wants me to do that, and I do it. And it is an eruption.
Hello?
He said like he's never heard before. They actually stopped a fight. One of the fighters were walking out, and there's a fight going on, and these guys are really going at it. And they heard this crazy sound, and they stopped the fight. They both stopped fighting. They're looking over what happened. They probably thought bad things were happening to the arena, but no, it's been great. And he is just somebody you have to really respect. I imagine you guys do, but he gets these fighters from all over the world, and they are some really talented people. And I have respect for fighters. When you can take 200 shots to the face and then look forward to the second round. Yes. It's interesting.
Biden could never do this interview. Holy fuck, he really is gonna win. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not so certain of Donald Trump winning the election. I do think that he has a pretty solid chance, and I think that that should never be the case. But unfortunately, the Democratic Party has gone with Biden, who is an old man. But you are right. I don't think that Joe Brandon could do an uninterrupted hour-long interview like this and just like chirp about shit. Biden has a 20% disapproval margin, bro. Good luck with that. Yeah, except you do realize that the Democratic Party across the board is nowhere near as unpopular as Joseph Robinette Biden is. That's the issue. Joe Biden is unpopular. Joe Biden is old. He's seen as weak and feeble because he is. It's nap time for him all the time. But the Democratic Party is actually doing fairly well in a lot of the same Senate seats on the same fucking ballots but that Joe Biden is supposed to be at the top of the ticket on. That's the crazy part about it. Like, the Democratic Party isn't doing poorly. Biden is. And under normal circumstances, it's never down ballot that carries the top of the ticket. It's vice versa. You have a very popular leader that a lot of people rally around, and then they go, I'm here. Might as well vote down ballot for the Democrats as well. In this situation, it's the exact opposite. Republicans flopped in the midterms. It's not even just that. Like, the Republican Party is broadly seen as like undemocratic, anti-democratic, corrupt, chaotic, and also greatly invested in the removal of civil liberties from women. Okay, not just like gay people, not just queer people, not trans people. I'm talking women. That's 50% of the population. There's a lot of Republican women, white women that vote. So when they see that shit, they're like, you know what? This kind of sucks. I actually don't want to vote for these guys. Abortion is massive. It's a massively consequential thing that the Republican Party brought about itself. They are, in many respects, suffering from their own success.
A lot of wrestlers want to want to do the thing, but they can't take the shots because they're wrestlers. I've been with a lot of them, and because at the White House we honor the national champion wrestlers and tennis players and sort of everything. We have these, but speaking to the wrestlers, some of them, there's somebody named Bo Nickel who I think is going to be great. He's a fighter.
Fantastic.
He was a All-American, I think probably 4 years. I'm not even sure. He went to Penn State, and he's phenomenal as a fighter, and you'll be watching him. But he doesn't mind. If he gets hit, he doesn't mind. Some people don't want that.
Speaking of conflict and fighting, since you left office, the number of global conflicts has skyrocketed. And I know Khabib talked to you about it quickly when you spoke with him. I think 2 weeks ago about President Biden authorized the use of American weapons in Russia, which has now led to a fleet of Russian warships coming towards Cuba this week. What are your thoughts and concerns around our current handling of our relationship with Russia?
Well, the Russian attack on Ukraine would have never happened if I were president. Would have never happened. It's just a shame. So many dead people. You look at just the soldiers, it's 500,000 soldiers between both countries. But so many dead people, so many towns and villages and buildings and magnificent culture just being wiped out. You okay over there?
Stuff's falling over.
Sounds good. Nice book, by the way. Nice book.
We'll get to that.
That's his book, Overcoming Drug
promote it.
Addiction.
It's a bestseller about the opiate epidemic, which we'll talk
Wow,
about.
that's a great topic because it's so sad to see what's happening.
That's right. Nice book. I'm going to kill all drug dealers. Wow. I love when he says Russia never would have invaded Ukraine if I was the president. It's just like literally all of these things that have happened under the Brandon regime. He could just sit back and be like, yep, if I was president, none of that would have happened. Only good things, none of the bad. Believe me.
So bad. But it's a shame because it never would have happened. And it didn't happen during my 4 years. It didn't happen. It wouldn't have happened. I got along very well with Putin. I got along with Zelensky. But it wouldn't have happened. And October 7th would have never happened. And
yeah, like, see, this is the part where I would be like, if I was in the room in a situation like this is the part where I'd be like, how can you say that? Honestly, you ripped apart the Iran denuclearization agreement, which literally created more regional stability. Okay. You added additional sanctions to Iran, even though European investigators were still openly reporting that Iran was following through on the nuclear denuclearization agreement, even after you ripped the deal apart, famously. You also you moved the embassy to Jerusalem, which was insane. Okay. That was an insane move. You moved the American embassy to Jerusalem, making it permanent that like Israel now controls Jerusalem, including occupied East Jerusalem. You then recognized annexed territory, Golan Heights, which is Syrian land that Israel illegally occupies. Again, you recognize that as like permanent Israeli land. You did the Abraham Accords, which directly wrote out the Palestinians from the equation of Palestinian sovereignty, which greatly increased tensions and was the direct consequence of which was October 7. Beyond that, you also assassinated the second in command, Qasem Soleimani, in Iran. Like, you are a big part of why October 7 happened, if not the biggest part outside of Israel. This is the type of shit that obviously Trump is never going to be questioned on, because I don't think it's not even like Mike that's going to ask him these questions. But it's also not even like mainstream media that would ever ask him these questions, because the reverse of this for mainstream media, the reversal is an easy fucking dunk as well. Trump could go, if it was so bad, why didn't Brandon change it? You know what I mean? Because Joe Biden has continued on the Abraham Accords. Joe Biden never reversed the embassy move decision. Joe Biden never fucking took back any of the things that Donald Trump did on Israel. So there is a unified bipartisan agreement when it comes to American foreign policy. Okay? That's just the truth. That's why someone like Donald Trump, when he was running in 2016, could very easily turn around and say, I'm going to put the kids in concentration camps too. Why are you getting mad at me when I do it? You know? Which is so funny to be like, oh yeah, we hate that you're putting children in detention facilities. And he would always just say, who built the detention facilities? That's what he said over and over again. Who built the facilities? Obama did. So that is part of the reason why I'm very, very frustrated with the Democratic Party all the time.
Inflation would have never happened. And the withdrawal, the kind of withdrawal, we were getting out of Afghanistan with dignity and strength. But to get out the way, I think it was the most embarrassing day in the history of our country. And I actually think that the way Afghanistan was.
Did you see this Doyen Talker made a video on you? Wait, what? Really? Is this it? That's a baby, bro. What the fuck?
Worked. I think that when Putin looked at that, he said, "Wow, let's go in." And you know who else looked at it? President Xi of China, and he is looking at Taiwan, and he's drooling. He's drooling over Taiwan, and so something could happen there. We've lost a lot of respect. They're laughing at us all over the world, and that wasn't happening 4 years ago.
And with you back in office, you think we'll get that respect back?
Yeah, we'll get it back.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. If there's one thing that was universally acknowledged, it was that America did become more of a laughing stock by our allies, especially during his fucking administration. Literally, everyone laughed at his face. Everyone laughed behind his back. The entire world was like, look at this fucking dumbass. Now, the saddest part about it is that they're still laughing because now we substituted one fucking jackass for a drooling, demented idiot who can't probably keep his bowel movements restricted for a long enough timeline because he's just too old. So now they're still laughing. Now, of course, they won't be laughing for too long because like our kind of brain rot has already completely captivated Europe as it once did less than 100 years ago. It's already happening. Okay. But having said that, Donald Trump saying like, no, I'm going to restore the fear and the respect that America had around the globe. That's just like dumb guy shit. He says that, and it's no different than him being like, I'm a businessman and I think someone needs to run this country like a business. That's like classic dumb guy shit. Okay? Dumb people love that shit. They loved going, oh yeah, we got to vote for a businessman to fix the economy. We have to run this country like a business. It's like, bro, what are you talking about? You literally work at Walmart, man. You're getting fucked over every goddamn day. Fuck you mean we got to run the country like a business? What are you talking about, bro? Like, which business? Trump's businesses? He had 7 bankruptcies. What the fuck are we talking about? It's like, you ain't even a business person. Like, why are you saying we got to run the country like a business? So that's one of the classic, like dumb guy arguments. And the other classic dumb guy argument is like, oh, I'm going to restore respect to America. It's like, yeah, sure, dude.
What's your relationship like with Vladimir Putin?
I think very good, but I was tough with him. You know, I ended the pipeline. He built, it's called Nord Stream 2. Nobody ever heard of Nord Stream 2 until I got involved. And it was the biggest project ever done in Russia. I mean, you know, this was a...
I'm not gonna lie, I don't think Logan Paul knows what Nord Stream 2 is, okay? Like, no disrespect, but like, he's checked out, okay? He's like, what? Okay, Nord Stream 2, okay, got it.
Pipeline that was going to supply oil and gas to all over Europe, Germany in particular. And I said, what are you doing? Why are you doing this to Germany? I said, we're defending you under NATO and you're paying billions of dollars a month to Russia. You mean we're defending you and you're giving the people we're defending you from, we're giving you the defense, but you're giving them money?
Even on the Nord Stream front, it's like, well, Brandon blew it up. You know what I'm saying? Trump wasn't with it. Brandon blew that shit up. Now, here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing. One thing I will mention as far as like Trump constantly talk about NATO, the major difference between Donald Trump and Joe Brandon is that Trump keeps saying, I'm going to not disband NATO, mind you. He's not saying that at all. He's going to demand more money from NATO members, right? He keeps asking like, I need more money. I need more money from all the NATO nations. He has even gone as far as to say at a rally, I believe, that if Russia invaded a country and that country had not paid money into NATO, like had paid more for their defenses, that he would not defend that country, which of course makes everyone in the blob, in the NatSec side of DC go crazy. They hear that and they go, oh my God, he's going to destroy NATO. Now, this is born out of 2 different reasons. One, because Trump doesn't really fully understand that like NATO is really good for the American military industrial complex. They get to buy our weapons, you know what I mean? Like it's a way to reassert American dominance around the globe. They have American bases, they put American soldiers there. We get to create this endless cycle of security. It's a protection racket for the United States of America. So that's not how the dynamic with NATO normally works, right? We benefit from NATO way more than those guys benefit from NATO. The American military-industrial complex benefits from NATO's existence. However, one can also make the argument that, like, Donald Trump is, doing a little bit more extortion on the protection racket in a way that where the mob guy does it. You know what I mean? Maybe the mob guy comes in and says, hey, your glasses are broken. Would be a shame if it got broke again. Maybe you need to pay us so we protect you. Okay? And then next time around, he still comes back and he's like, you know what? I think we need more money to protect your storefront, actually. So I think that's what Trump is doing a little bit. Inflation. Inflation has come to the American protection racket.
At massive amounts. Probably the biggest project, most important, one of the most important projects they've ever done. I ended it. It was dead. It was gone. And then this guy comes in and he approves it, but he kills Keystone. The Keystone XL.
Yep.
So it's sad. But Putin said to me, it's the biggest thing. You ended it. You ended the pipeline. He said, they all say you and I are friendly, but I'd hate to see you as an enemy. But this was the biggest, this was massive amounts of money and everything.
But that's
else.
how you, that,
But
you talk to him
Biden
like
came
that?
in, huh?
You talk to him like that?
Oh, no, I had a very good relationship. That's a good thing, not a bad thing. And I'm trying to tell people, no, it's a good thing. They've got, I would give you the exact number, but they gave a lot, just under 2,000 nuclear weapons. And we do also. And when you have nuclear weapons, and even if you don't have nuclear weapons, getting along is good, but be the tough one, be the smart one, get along is good. I tell the press all the time, no, the fact that I get along with Kim Jong-un, North Korea.
That's crazy.
President Xi.
That's crazy.
It's all good stuff getting along, but nobody ever took money out of China like me. I took hundreds of billions of dollars out in the form of tariffs and taxes. No other president took not 10 cents. And, China built their military because of the United States. The United States was giving them hundreds of billions of dollars a year in excess flow. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. But we took out hundreds of billions of dollars from China, and I still got along with President Xi until COVID. That was a breaking point. But no, but he was a guy that I respected. He liked me, and I liked him. That's a good thing, not a bad thing. The press says, "Oh, isn't it?"
I think a lot of these global leaders know how to manipulate Trump, by the way, where they just basically glad handle. They just tell him he's a big boy. He's very strong. And then he takes that at face value and goes yeah, that's right. They love me. They respect me. They're afraid of me. You know what I mean? Because think about it this way. Donald Trump's a fucking dumbass in comparison to people like Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping. These guys are elderly statesmen at this point. They have been leading these massive countries for multiple decades in comparison to Donald Trump, who's a television guy who doesn't really like to read and is now lucked into a phenomenal position of power. So for them, they probably thought, this is great. We can do whatever the fuck we want. This guy will just shut the fuck up. As long as we glaze him a little bit, he'll be like, these guys love me. And as far as Xi Jinping goes, yeah, sure, he hasn't led China for decades. Okay, but he's been in politics for a lot longer than Donald Trump has and will lead China for decades into the glorious future, the glorious Chinese hegemonic future. Leader Xi, please alert the authorities. I'm ready. Activate me like the Manchurian candidate, sir.
You say, yeah, he's a leader. He's a smart guy. They say, smart man. They say, oh, Trump said he was smart. He leads 1.4 billion people. It's a little bit on the smart side. But I got along with him. I got along with Kim Jong-un. That would have been a nuclear.
President Xi, dear leader Xi, please tell me, give me a sign that you're in here watching. For example, at the top of the hour when there's a 3-minute ad break, if you give gifted subs, not directly, but by one of your subsidiaries, I will know that you're in here, and I will know that you are on my side. Because at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. And if you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. What is this? Hit this one time, please. China, baby! I can't believe this is a real video. It blows my mind. Calm like a Tom. Thank you for the 10 tier 1 gifted subs. XVX Con, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Oh my God, she is in here. It's real. Here's the 3-minute ad break now, by the way. I was in Shanghai with a pretty prominent business person when he was first elected and asked if China was worried. He laughed and said, no, he only cares about praise and money, and we can give him that. He is in here. Half Note the Bard. He lives in all of us, dude. All right, let's continue with this shit.
nuclear war. If Hillary Clinton had gotten in office, we would have been in a nuclear war with North Korea. He was ready for it. When I was with him, nobody else could meet him. All of a sudden, the dam broke, and we started talking a little bit. We got together, as you know, twice, along very well. But we were in no danger from them, and we were in serious danger before I got there. I'm telling you, you would have had a nuclear war if Hillary Clinton got in.
I'm so curious, like what this conversation with really powerful world leaders looks like behind closed doors. Like, is it candid, or do you exercise grace, or you talk like boys?
Everyone's different. No, but everyone's different. It's like when you're talking to people, when you're doing interviews with people, when you're fighting people, they're all different. You know, you fight them a different way, you talk to them a different way, but everyone's different. But I had very good relationships with everyone. The funny thing is I got along with the tough ones much better than I got along with the weak ones. You had some real weak ones too. I didn't get along with them as well. It's strange. Must
That's
be a
probably-
The
personality.
European
probably a good
leaders,
thing.
they were weak.
It's probably a good thing that you get along with the
I get along with the tough
leaders of the
ones.
largest countries.
You know, there's a very tough one, Viktor Orban, and he's the prime minister of Hungary.
That's such a funny thing to say. Viktor Orban is a very tough leader. It's like, bro says he gets along with the tough leaders and not with the weak leaders, and then talks about Hungary. Like, yeah, dude, Viktor Orban, a real Hungary, the real tough nation of Hungary, led by the real tough man, Viktor Orban, dude. Come on. Like, that's insane. Like, when you say that about like, I don't know, Vladimir Putin, that's fine. He is a strong man, right? When you say that about Erdogan, that's fine. He's a strong man, second largest army in NATO. Like, say that about Xi Jinping, understandable, right? But like Viktor Orban is suckling on 3 different titties. 1, Vladimir Putin's titty. 2, EU's titty. And 3rd, and most importantly, the Chinese titty. What are we talking about here? Like, he's Viktor Orban, very, very scary, very tough guy. What? Turkish gambling ring serves their country men liquid glurp in meal? Glurp awareness rate? What the fuck? Why are you guys sending me this shit?
And he said that the reason the world is blowing up because Trump isn't president. When Trump was there, everybody respected Trump. He said was afraid of Trump. I don't want to use that term because that's, you know, I don't want to say, oh, they were afraid, like a child would say. But they respected me. But he said everyone listened to Trump. They were afraid of Trump. They couldn't figure Trump out. And they all listened. And they did listen. And we had no wars. We had no nothing. I defeated ISIS, got rid of the biggest terrorists ever, maybe, or just about ever.
I don't know, man. Israel's still standing, bitch.
But we defeated, think of that, we knocked out ISIS, 100% of the ISIS caliphate, and started no wars. I wasn't in any wars. Now, that, I don't know how you may feel about that.
How dare you? How dare you call them the fucking caliphate? That title belongs to one nation, okay? That's right, Turkey.
Because, you know, you're a warrior, right? Because all fighters, and you're a real fighter, by the way.
It's not good. It's not good. I
Yeah.
don't shy away from conflict. My fiance has a problem with it.
Yeah.
It's not good. You're much more diplomatic than I probably would be.
You know, it's very interesting, though. So Khabib came up to me after the fight the other night. And, you know, you guys would probably say he's the best ever, maybe. And, you know,
He's in the
certainly he
conversation.
probably is, and or very close, right? John Jones, a lot of people
there.
say. And, you know, and he said to me, oh, I hope you can get in because we have to stop the wars. We have to stop the killing. He was so smart. He understood it. And I think he's friends or was friends, but I think he is friends with Putin very much.
Yeah.
But he said, we have to stop the killing, and it's true. And I think I'd have that war stopped if I was president-elect. Right after the election, if I win, I will get that war stopped. I'll get it stopped.
Khabib wants the war in Ukraine to stop. Yeah, he wants it to be Russia. He wants Ukraine to be the second Dagestani territory so that they can finally stop being pussy and start doing real war like real men. No more gay shit.
Fast before I get to office, if it's not stopped before then.
Talking about Russia, Ukraine.
I'm talking about Russia, Ukraine.
On
We'll
the-
get it.
on
We'll
the-
get it stopped.
on the
So
flip
many
side-
people are being killed.
Mike, ask him a question. Be like, how? What are you gonna do?
Far more people are being killed. And I thought it was great when Khabib came up to me. He says, we've got to stop all of the killing in the war. He's a very smart guy.
By the way, Khabib was talking about Israel, big dog. He wasn't talking about Ukraine. I don't think Dagestani dudes who are in most circumstances pushing Z unconditionally are fucking being like, hey, can you please stop Russia invading Ukraine? Okay. He was talking about Palestine. He was talking about Gaza. In the conversation between him and Donald Trump, he specifically mentioned Gaza, okay? The notion that he mentioned anything but Gaza is silly. He might have said it on Twitter or some shit, but when he talked to Donald Trump, I don't think he could even fucking say Ukraine, to be honest. He's like, doesn't his family still live in Dagestan?
Very interesting guy. We talked for a while.
On the flip side, or on the other side of the continent,
Thunderfuck, do you always, Turkey's dumb. Do you always suck Palestine off? Thank you for recognizing Palestinian statehood and sovereignty. Let's
the
continue.
Gaza situation has been
Horrible.
big news.
How can you still like Mike after this? Isn't he pushing all right propaganda here? I can. You want to know how? Because I'm not some fucking brain broken person who literally thinks like that Mike Malag is like secretly trying to fucking get Trump elected or some shit by having this interview with him. You know? But that's probably the reason. You say stuff like this, and then your parents are unironically saying like fucking alt-right shit, by the way. Get the fuck out of here. They'll be like, wow, I can't believe you like a dude that you know personally, that you think is a very nice person, very kind person, and a well-intentioned person, for platforming the former president of the United States of America. Meanwhile, your dad is saying fucking unimaginable shit that you would be incredibly embarrassed to fucking repeat in broad daylight. I don't see you fucking restricting your access to your own fucking family members. You know what I mean? Also, chatters are really funny because I would love the opportunity to do this and platform Donald Trump. Okay, I would love for that. I would die for that opportunity. It'd be sick.
Over the past year or so,
I would love to platform the motherfucking president, all of the presidents.
the United States has always been, and you were always a staunch ally of Israel. Has your sentiment on Netanyahu or on his regime changed at all in light of any of the events of the past 6 months?
No, look, it was a shame that it should have never happened. It would have never happened. Iran was broke when I was president. Nobody was allowed to buy oil.
He literally fucking ripped apart the denuclearization agreement. This is ridiculous. The notion that he did not make this conflict or make Iran more reactionary towards America is silly. Okay. Also, there's a good question from Mike. You see?
Was allowed to buy anything. They were broke. A Democrat congressman on Deface the Nation, the show Deface the Nation. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Deface the Nation. Yes, commonly known as Face the Nation, but I don't call it that.
You have a name for
I think
everything.
I have a name for everything. I'll end up with a name for you two guys by the time. But it'll be.
I can't wait to hear
No,
mine.
they'll be good names. They'll be good names. But so he was on the show and he said, whether you like Trump or not, Iran was broke during Trump's. They would have made a deal within 1 week, and now they have $250 billion. We would have had a deal done literally in 1 week after the election. And it was ready. They were absolutely, and they had no money for Hamas. They had no money for Hezbollah. They were broke, stone cold broke. Now they have $250 billion. Biden took off all of the sanctions. He let them go. China went to town. I told China, if you buy 1 barrel of oil from these people, you're not doing any business with the United States. They took a pass, no oil, and other countries likewise. And we would have had a deal. It would have been a great deal for everybody. We would have had a deal. Now they have $250 billion. They made it all in 3 years, 3.5 years. They made it all during this Biden term. I mean, he gave him $6 billion for 5 hostages, right? You saw that recently, a couple of months ago.
I would never forgive any of my family for this shit. I'm not brain broken. Trump is a Nazi and Mike is platforming him. How is that okay? How can you be friends with a Nazi platformer just because he's nice and well intentioned? Because I'm a Nazi platformer. That's why. You've been giving money to a Nazi platformer. I platform Donald Trump. I platform the former president on a regular fucking basis, dude. He's the fucking president. If anything, there is no world where you're platforming the former president of the United States of America. He's platforming you, okay? You need to understand this. You need to understand this to the best of your ability, okay? There is no world where you are platforming the former president of the United States of America, Okay. I don't know how to describe this to people. There is no world where you can platform the former president of the United States of America. He platforms you. When you are standing next to him, he is platforming you, not vice versa. Doesn't operate in the exact opposite way. Okay. Holy shit.
$6 billion for 5 hostages. He made the swap. The Prince of Terror, they call him. He's the best arms dealer ever, they say. Who knows what that means, but he was a great arms dealer. For the basketball player that wouldn't stand up during the national anthem, she thought that was a good time to tie her sneakers. And that was not exactly the greatest trade, but he gave $6 billion on top of everything. $6 billion with a B. And they don't know what they're doing. And
The
when
real
you do-
question is, why don't you have the same level of smoke that you have for Logan Paul and Mike Malak that you would for Jake Tapper if they were conducting the same interview? Now, obviously, I started giggling while I was even putting that out there because it's Logan Paul and Mike Malak. So the expectation that they are going to set up a contentious interview is ridiculous. Okay? That's why.
that, you know, when you start paying that kind of money, a lot of other people are going to be missing all of a sudden. They're going to be missing and, hey, let's make a trade. And that's already happening. You just can't do that. I got 58 people out. We never paid any money. 58 people, 58 hostages. We never paid money. Because once you pay money, you're going to be doing a lot. In other words, you're going to keep doing it. So you can't do that.
This episode is sponsored by myself. I sponsored it myself. Prime X, guys. We just dropped Prime X. This is our biggest launch ever. It is $1 million treasure hunt. So after you buy your box, I want to ask about money. Money in this country.
Go ahead.
I've had a very fortunate career.
Yeah.
I've made some money. And
More money than you ever thought possible.
for sure.
Right?
For sure.
Yeah, I know the
Absolutely.
kind of money you make because I know when you have a top event and your shows, but these events are doing fantastically.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
you've done is incredible.
Yeah, I'm very blessed, and part of the reason that I believe I'm blessed is because of this country, and I think in a way I'm kind of living like the modern day American dream. You know, I had access to a phone and could start my business and reach the entire world on this device. So,
Excuse me, did you guys start like separately?
me and Jake?
Yes.
Nah, together.
Oh, you started together.
Together on YouTube.
And did you branch out? You each have your own
Yeah,
thing?
eventually, because I went to college. Jake was still in high school. He ended up dropping out. I finished my first year.
It's an amazing 2 stories, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Who makes more money?
It depends on the year. It depends if Jake has
I wanna
fights.
ask you-
That's crazy, bro. What do you mean? This motherfucker makes so much more money with the Prime? No. This is literally propaganda directed towards a young audience. I don't get how you can be okay with it because I love Donald Trump. That's why I'm okay with it. I want Logan Paul's 12 to 16-year-old demographic to go and illegally vote for Donald Trump. This is why I always laugh when people ask me the question like, what should politicians do more about outreach in terms of social media? And I'm just like, dude, it doesn't really, like, that's not moving the needle. I promise you. Okay? He's got Cambridge Analytica. He's all right.
and it depends on when this sells. Right here, too.
Yeah. I think.
Is that your new drink? Oh, that's good. Oh, well,
yeah.
If you make it, I like it.
Oh, thank you,
wanna
Mr.
give-
President.
No, it's got, it's got to be good. It's got to be, look.
I knew it. Like, I was like very excited about this because it's like content. And I knew that there was going to be no fun having asses in here being like, dude, I can't believe this. Like, I can't believe that you would let this go on. Please turn this off. I can't see this. My eyes. I need to be thinking about the potential implications of this. Like, just fucking let it happen. Okay. And if you don't want to, you can leave. I promise you, it doesn't really matter at this point. One sip of Prime could probably kill Donald Trump. It's just weird you're friends with these people. Yes, dude, it's weird for you because the concept of having friends in general, by the way, these people, Logan Paul and Donald Trump are not friends of mine. Mike is, but that's so funny that you're like, incorporating everybody there. But also, yeah, no, I know it is weird. Like the concept of having friends outside of this Splinter Discord that was born out of the Splinter Discord that I went to because the other Splinter Discord that I went to off of the original Discord that I was in was not sufficiently communist in the exact same way that I want it to be is obviously like an inescapable reality. It's just, or not inescapable reality. It's an unimaginable reality. You know what I mean? It's so weird. So weird that you would have friends Like, I don't understand. How can you maintain a relationship with people that you don't 100% align with on every single issue, and they are not like, in every step that they take, they're not actually advocating for a global Maoist third worldist revolution. Why are they not rising up in arms and engaging in a protracted people's war? What the fuck is happening? Okay, what is going on right now? How could you do this? And you wonder why people call you a fake socialist? Because I'm a fake socialist. I love capitalism. It's my favorite. Okay, that's why. You do associate yourself with some weird crowd? Yeah, I do. Really weird. I wish Donald Trump was a friend of the broadcast. That'd be so sick. This is what happens when leftists live their entire lives out online. I know, and think that like every step they're taking is like some kind of like weird praxis. And I know every single time I talk about this kind of thing, people get really, really fucking mad because so fucked up you assume people are just antisocial for having conviction in their morals. If I knew every fucking minute detail about your life, I would 100% be able to fucking examine with the same critical lens the direction and the steps that you take and how immoral it is under the same exact fucking hypercritical lens that you place upon me and my friendships and also those other individuals as well. This goes back to, once again, the unimaginably brain dead way in which extremely online leftists approach normal human beings in society. Okay? This is the same exact thing that plays out all the time. People talking about how like this content creator is ableist and then having problematic faves. You know what I mean? It's just like, I'm not shitting on you. I'm sure you're married with a loving group of friends, okay? If we were to examine the loving group of friends that you have, I'm sure that there are plenty of people there that have certain opinions and certain convictions that would not meet the muster, that would not meet the same standards that you're applying here. Why am I saying this? Because it's perfectly normal and valid for people to have disagreements with you, okay? Because I understand that we are all, at the end of the day, at the mercy of the social conditioning that we are born into, the systems that we're born into. Okay, that's it. Doing 2016 style hyper liberal like Vox.com article writing ass fucking takes in this chat in 2024 is not going to get you anywhere. It just makes you look like a lame ass. It makes you look unapproachable, hostile to the average person, to the normal person. You're making it seem as though this person, Mike, who's a good dude overall, is over here fucking, you know, repping the Confederate flag or some shit. And is like secretly alt-right. Okay? And I think a lot of you guys don't understand. A lot of you don't understand that is a major problem with the way that this community is seen from the outside world. Okay? That's a major issue. This is why I always say, one, we look unapproachable and incredibly unappealing because you think that you are putting your best moral foot forward when you like chirp like this. Okay, you think you are actually reinstating some kind of purity in here to ensure that we are getting ensure that we're, you know, cleansing this community of any kind of like outside influence that is inherently reactionary or whatever. And to the person who said, yeah, you said the same thing about Nick Merckx back in the day. Yeah, if Mike was chirping like Nick Merckx, my relationship with Mike would resemble my relationship with Nick Merckx, which is non-existent. Do you understand? Nick Merckx is actually a great example of this. Nick Merckx went from a normie with reactionary tendencies to a person who is outwardly reactionary. Okay, and in that time frame, we no longer were friends. I don't know if you guys know this. It was very public, as a matter of fact. Okay, do you get it? I agree with you, but I'm A-worded like chat and know how hard it is to fight our weirdly strong sense of justice. I love that there are plenty of autistic chatters who have a strong moral compass and a strong sense of justice. I always try to redirect that strong sense of justice in valid targets. Okay? Like, in many ways, this is no different than being like, I hate capitalism. That's why I hate capitalism. That's why I think it's fucking unimaginably anti-revolutionary, counter-revolutionary behavior that Hasan bought a fucking house. Okay? Do you get it? That's ridiculous. Find a better target. Find a valid target. Now, many people will go, well, that's actually self-serving of you to say that. Okay. Okay, Bernie Sanders then. Yelling at Bernie Sanders because he's not sufficiently revolutionary for having Dior diapers. You are a clown. I get it. If that's what, helps you sleep at night, then yeah, I'm a clown. And my clown-ass behavior has been able to build a sustainable, massive fucking community, a community full of wonderful people who care about social justice, who care about causes, who turn around and fundraise like a motherfucker. You know what I mean? It's great. You are so generous to these people. I respect it, but I can't. It'd be easy trying to explain being normal. I mean, I won't stop. These are the same chatters who pipe up in Will's chat to woke scold him for not understanding capitalism is off-putting to everyone around them. I know. While I don't have any issue with Mike or him interviewing Trump, it just seems like you're very charitable to everyone, yet receive none of that charity back. Your community especially receives none of that charity, including your own mods. What? Okay, we're talking about something entirely irrelevant now. I don't know what the fuck what are you saying? I'm not charitable to people because it is transactional in nature and I want them to be charitable back to me. I'm charitable to people because I hope that I can get my message across to them. That is precisely the reason why many of you in this community probably went from having some reactionary positions to losing that reactionary position and turning around and no longer holding on to certain reactionary beliefs that you had. That charitability originally, regardless of whether it was transactional or not, caused you to change your mind on certain issues. So that's why I do it, not because I feel like people will be nice to me. Okay? I don't think it's supposed to be transactional regardless. That's it. The biggest enemy of the right is the left. The biggest enemy of the left is woke scold chatters. The biggest enemy of the left is everybody, including the left. What? I'm not trying to be confrontational. I'm literally asking you, what is the line on some reactionary tendencies versus full-blown reactionary? Like, what separates Mike from the other streamer guy whose name I can't remember? Mike versus Nick Merckx? Do you think Mike is like outwardly transphobic or transphobic at all? What has led you to believe that other than the fact that he just looks like a bro? Be honest with yourself. What kind of commentary have you heard from him that has ever led you to literally feel that way? So much of this sentiment unironically comes from optics. If Mike was like queer presenting and had like, I don't know, a septum piercing, you literally would never, ever in a fucking million years ask that question. Okay? Straight up. I'm sorry. You literally look at normal people and you understandably, maybe out of defense, make the assertion across the board that like on optics alone, this person must be fucking like a reactionary guy, which is so funny because plenty of people do that to me all the time. Okay? If chat was like this IRL, no one will want to be around them because they're annoying as hell. They are. The question always is, if you truly care about social justice, if you truly care about the causes that you fucking espouse, and you want other people to also come to terms with some of the things that you believe that you want them to agree with, do you think it's good to be as physically off-putting and repulsive as possible every step of the way? Or do you think it's better to at least try to fake being empathetic and fake being normal with the hopes that people will want to be around you? Because I think many people mistake the off-putting way that the off-putting vibes that they put out there as like being morally pure. It is sad that we find ourselves having this conversation almost daily nowadays. Okay? Fake being normal if you can't do it. Mask. Agent masking. Very successful in, getting people to like you. It just sucks that so many people would just be like, no, I think being okay, we'll lie to you and be yes people. No, I don't think you understand. Nothing could stop me loving your work, but your defensiveness speaks volumes. Mike's been transphobic about athletes, misgender other creators, and has been weird devil's advocate position on trans people. Be real, Hasan. If you think Mike, as far as like a normal person goes, is a transphobic person, you will literally perish the moment that you step foot outside. That is insane. That is literally fucking insane. No, that's not even the normie take. He's too woke for normal people. What the fuck are we talking about? Not only that, but also he's way more charitable and way more understanding of the other side's position instead of being immediately negatively polarized against it. One time he was on stream and brought up the protect the kids shit. You set him straight and he was like, yeah, you're right. Exactly. Your morally grandstanding is 9 out of 10 times projection from the ignorant, selfish people following the status quo. I don't know why chat can't both recognize we're fighting an uphill battle. Then we're eating ourselves in that order. Yeah. I do think that it's kind of sad though, because ultimately it turns into like, is this a productive conversation and people will listen to what I have to say, be charitable to me and maybe internalize it, or will they suspect that I'm actually doing this for some secret reason because I want to defend my friend or something? And it's always the second thing. A lot of people think, no, there's got to be a secret second reason, even though this is a position I've held for years and it's not even like a good friend or a close friend all the time. You know what I mean? With Mike, I like him. I know him personally. I think he's a good dude. But with many other circumstances, when I tell you to be normal, you always immediately infer that there has to be some secondary purpose, some cynical reason as to why he's doing this. Ooh, I will figure it out. And then you launch off those inferences in that cynical ass fucking worldview that you have. And you go, maybe Hasan, he cannot be right. He cannot be right at all on this issue. He must be wrong and he must be cynically defending this. I think I'm going to turn around and become a hater. Okay? It's like probably one of the most, move on with this conversation, nobody hates you. Bitch, you're the one who's fucking having this conversation. Okay? You're literally having this conversation. Stop adjusting your sycophants alone and admit that Mike has said transphobic shit. I know you're reading this. Okay, we'll lie to you. Like, you think you're fighting a battle in here and you're not. And you're the one who keeps talking about it. Well, why won't you shut the fuck up about it? I'm at least doing the dignity and not banning your stupid ass for chirping. You've made your point. This is one of the most annoying tendencies of like Twitch streaming is that chatters will literally fucking start a stun lock, keep fucking chirping in the chat, have me respond to the chirp and go, okay, well, I guess you've made your point. Why are you still talking about it? It's like, because you're talking about it. Do you understand? Pushing away open-minded people is the dumbest fucking thing you can do. Okay? It is literally the dumbest fucking thing you can do. Please. Every single time this conversation is taking place, you should take a deep breath and think about it and be like, am I fighting against this person? Do I think he might even remotely, just a little bit, marginally be right about what he's saying? Or is there some secret secondary tendency here? Is there some secret cynical reason as to why he's doing this? Anyway.
Something's propelling him to fight world champions to a draw, right?
Yeah. We actually made this American
that's
Prime
beautiful.
special
Wow.
for this episode. It's a hydration beverage.
It's doing fine, doing well.
We did 1.2 billion last year.
That's
year,
great.
Year 2.
That's fantastic.
But I'm blessed to have even just be able to say that is insane. But my question is, for other young people in this country who are looking to get ahead, because for a lot of them times are tough right now.
It's very tough.
What would you say to them, kids who want to pursue their own version of the American dream and try to achieve their wildest dreams and make it all come true?
I would say very simply, honestly, vote for Trump. Because with Biden, you're never going to do it. This country's going to hell. Vote for Trump. You know, we're doing great with youth. We're doing great with African Americans, with Hispanic Americans, through the roof, both of those groups, with women, with men, and with young people, we're doing very well. But I say vote for Trump. If you don't have the right guy in the lead, the country's not going to, you know, if the country doesn't do well, it's much harder to do even what you do, okay? Even what you do. So that would be a simple message. I really mean it, actually.
Same opportunities he's had in America, I've had as well. My road has been a little bit rockier, as we were talking about in my book, The Fifth Vital.
Good advice from Donald Trump. If you want to pursue the American dream, vote for Trump. Do chatters not realize you'd love to interview Trump too? It's not like you're exactly pro-Trump. It's impossible. They expect, first of all, plenty of chatters would be fucking chirping at me in the way that I conduct myself in an interview with Trump if there was a glorious moment where I could have our dear leader on this broadcast, okay? Plenty of fucking people would be like, you didn't sufficiently destroy him in the marketplace of ideas and immediately cause him to leave in the first fucking 3 minutes by yelling at him and calling him a fascist monster. That's number one. Number two, the expectation that these guys are going to do that is ridiculous. Like, they're not going to do that. I knew that going in. I don't know why other people did not. It's the same shit when you did the interview with the Yemeni kid. Yeah, exactly. I think people who argue with you find your jock tendencies off-putting, and instead of saying, okay, this is off-putting for me, I'm going to watch something else, they try to change you. Unfortunately, attachment problems are very common, and this is what happens when a little parasocial thing gets in the mix. Yeah. Not recognizing that my jock tendencies probably fucking cause me to be more appealing to a broader audience than if I was just like every other fucking bread tuber, okay? That's the other thing. Like, that's the other issue. The right-wing villain arc starts today. I know. The amount of times that people have said, oh, Hasan is right-wing now going forward is so funny throughout my fucking decade-long professional media career. It's just so strange. That seemingly has never happened.
I spent 8 years addicted to heroin, living on the East Coast. In what I considered, I think a lot of people considered.
So you were addicted.
Correct.
Wow.
I think a lot of people consider it to be the great opiate
Let me
epidemic.
see the book. Can I see the book?
Absolutely.
We're gonna make this sucker a best-selling book.
There's a message. There's a message for you.
No, it's such an important.
It's actually
Where's
already
my camera?
it's already a
There. Go
best-selling
out and
book.
buy this book. It's great.
That was for you, I believe.
I wrote a message to you in
Good.
there. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to keep it.
Thank you
but
so much.
it's such an important topic. Yeah, seriously, that's so important.
There's a lot of people that are still kind of wrapped up in that world. And I just want to
Yeah.
ask you some questions. In 2023, the DEA sees more than 80 million fentanyl-laced fake pills, 12,000 pounds of fentanyl powder. There's so many people out there on the streets right now without access to resources with mental health care, rehabilitation centers.
Yeah.
What's your plan to continue to stem the flow of fentanyl into the country, as well as help the people who have already fallen victim to the opiate epidemic?
So when I took over,
He's going to be like, we're going to kill drug dealers. All the other stuff you said about no access to social safety nets, I will avoid that. Jail. If you've even... Mike, if I was president while you were an addict, I would have killed you. I'm going to kill drug addicts and the dealers.
was drug infested. When I ran in 2016, I ran on the border and I fixed the border, and I couldn't even use it in 2020 in the campaign, even though I got millions of more votes than I got the first time. I couldn't talk about.
The major reason why I will always have respect for Mike, beyond the fact that he's like a very empathetic person and a very charitable person, and he is literally like, if more normies were as outwardly empathetic as he is, then you would have infinitely more allies. But beyond that, yes, because he did drugs. Exactly. Okay. That's why. Like, dude, you will never, ever, ever get me to fucking hate someone who was like in the throes of crippling heroin addiction, who's been able to overcome that. Okay. And that's a lifelong struggle. It's crazy. Like chatters with no goddamn lived experience that are like, 14, 15, 16 years old in the chat, or come from like very comfortable backgrounds who never had this kind of fucking issue in their lives, literally just chirping non-fucking stop without knowing a single aspect of the human being that you're talking about. It's just very, very frustrating. Okay. It's just very, very frustrating. It sucks. And I think that obviously stems once again from the like purity spiral that people want to the little pure circles that they want to create for themselves, not understanding that like that's not how human beings are. That's not how human beings operate. Human beings are imperfect, and they're not going to agree with every single thing that you fucking say. But ultimately, like I said, I'm always going to have a shit ton of respect for him for that.
About the border because I fixed it. And I'd say to my people, I want to talk about the border. I was proud of the job we did. We had it fixed. It was really in good shape. And drugs were at the lowest point in years. And, not only people, drugs, human trafficking, which is such a horrible thing. It's You think of it as like an ancient kind of a crime, and it's bigger now than ever before because of the internet. The internet has made a lot of these things much bigger than they have ever been. when you think of human trafficking, mostly in women, by the way, people don't know that, mostly in women, where they put them in trunks of cars, they have compartments. It's so horrible. And I had it down to to the lowest level, just about, I guess, in recorded times. So what you have to do is you have to be very tough on that. We had a deal on the fentanyl is pouring through. I bought millions of dollars worth of equipment. Believe it or not, they call it sniffing equipment, but
You say that about all addiction, but promote porn law. I believe the left would be taken more seriously and more if they were capable of engaging in a conversation for 10 minutes without throwing a tantrum of it or fit. Bro, I love that you just said that and then immediately started talking about how I promote porn. I'm sorry that you fucking can't stop fapping when you see my ginormous fucking biceps, okay? That's a you problem, bitch. Promote porn. I love that he just had the audacity to fucking go from heroin addiction to porn. Okay? That's awesome. It's great, man. I'm glad that you stopped fapping, okay?
believe it or not, the best thing to find it, you can spend millions of dollars on equipment and machinery to find drugs coming through, like, sort of finds it. The best thing is a German Shepherd born in a certain
dog,
Do you know
for
that?
sure.
Oh, they're unbelievable.
Yeah.
They go right to it. It's not even, there is no machine. You spend $2.5 million for machinery, and the dog is
Porn is not recognized by any recognized mental health organization in good standing as an addiction, but gambling is.
much better.
More dogs.
And
Yeah,
we
more dogs.
we literally bred those dogs. It's a very specific type of German Shepherd from a certain part of the world. It's the most incredible thing. We worked very, very hard on that.
It's so funny because there's like hella addicts in here that are on their, lifelong journey in overcoming addiction, right? And then there's a motherfucker that chirps in here. There's like people being like, yeah, I'm 5 years sober. Thank you for speaking to the experiences of addicts. And then some guy comes in from the top rope and is like, hey, you know how you like in your lowest moments were deeply and cripplingly addicted to heroin? It's kind of like me because I couldn't stop jerking off to porn. Okay. It's just like, I don't know what to say to that. I don't know how we are on a planet where we've just like made these things the same. Guys be like, yeah, dude, I was literally out there fucking going to the methadone clinic so I could like finally get a job again, completely alienated from my friends and family in my lowest moments, almost died multiple times. And then there's a guy who's like, my shit is raw, dude. Okay. You don't understand. Okay. My shit is fucking raw. From jorking my peanuts, okay? You don't understand. I was jorking. Do you know the amount of time out of the day that I was jorking it? You think that's funny? My shit was bleeding. I had calluses.
I was with President Xi. It comes from China and it comes in through the southern. So Mexico's it comes through the southern border. And I was with President Xi, and I told you we got along great. The COVID was a step too far as I was concerned, but we got along great. And I said, do you have a drug problem? He said, no, they give the death penalty in China. If you sell drugs, I said, I'd like you to give the death penalty to people that are making fentanyl and sending it over to our country. And he was going to do that. And then we had the election result. And of course, Biden never picked up.
Oh, yeah. No, she was like, you're right, sir. We're no longer sending fentanyl over the border. You're so right. We're definitely sending fentanyl over the border deliberately. And now that you've said stop, I'm going to stop it. Okay. And then, of course, Brandon became president and she was like, ooh, more fentanyl.
That conversation. I told them about it. But he was going to give the death penalty. If he did that, you would have had this literally stopped, almost stopped. But we have to be very, very strong at the border. This is a plague like... And the numbers, they'd say 70,000, 80,000. I think it's probably 250 or 300,000. This is like a war.
Porn addiction is real. Big porn is preventing him from being recognized in his addiction. No big problem. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely not like rabid psychopathic Christian groups and Mormon groups that are trying to get it classified as a serious addiction and limit severely like any kind of sex work from happening. Is certainly not those guys. I am not a paranoid schizo. I've yet to find one fucking study that wasn't conducted by some Mormon group that like hides that they're Mormon by claiming it's like secular friends and family group. And then you look it up and it literally is just like paid for by the Mormon church. Definitely not Mormon. Friends and family of porn addicts funded this study.
It's rarely a war. I mean, how many wars were you losing? 300,000 people a year. And everybody knows a family. I know many families where their children die and they're not even addicted. They take a pill that's unrelated and it's got a little bit of fentanyl. They say you can take the head of a needle and you just put a piece on it, and that's enough to kill like 10 people. It is a really horrible thing. And I would have had China giving their maximum penalty. They would not have been sending it. And I had a deal worked out with President Xi, but of course Biden didn't follow up, just like he didn't follow up on the Abraham Accords, which would have been...
Wait, what? He did follow up on the Abraham Accords. Fuck you mean he didn't follow up on it? That's why October 7 happened. What the fuck are you talking about? That's crazy. How did Biden not follow up on the Abraham Accords?
Thing to do. So we have to be very tough on the border. And that includes drugs as well as people not coming in from jails and prisons and, mental institutions, which is happening now at levels that nobody's ever seen before. It's crazy. How can it be good? It's so bad. And I guess the reason...
Oh my God, Neek Skit is a Mormon? This explains so much. Mormons are good and usually just support science. It's only the extremists among us that are a bit too much. Dude, I'm learning. I just learned new thing unlocked about Neek Skit. Everything is falling into place now. It is making so much more sense.
Either stupid, which they're not.
New Lord.
They hate our country, or they want to get these people for votes. A lot of people think that's the thing. They want to get them for votes. But the destruction, the damage that Biden's done to our country by having 16, 17 million people already in, it's much more than they say. It's probably 17. It could be even higher than that in our country. And these are not people that are going to make America great again. These are people that have a lot of issues. And we're going to have a lot of issues as long as they're here. And we're going to get them out. We have to get them out.
Mr. President, I got the 10-minute warning from the team, which is now 8-minute.
Let's let him go a little longer. It's fine. I like it. Is that okay?
I like him.
Yeah, let him go a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Okay. So, look at these two guys. And then it'll turn out to be a lousy show, and I'll say you were right, Jason. It'll be good. So go for another 20 minutes. Is that all right? Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Jason.
It seems to be a nice flow.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Let's go.
Well, you did reality TV.
I'll be in trouble with my people. Like Biden says, I don't have that problem. But well, first of all, he would never. He couldn't do this interview. You asked him questions like this?
No, we were talking about that. We were like,
we'd like to extend the invite to Joe Biden if he'd like to come on this podcast.
Yeah, I think you should. You know what chance you have of getting him on? I'd say less than 1%. Okay, if you did that, it'd be. I'd actually watch that one. Okay, see how long it lasted.
So there are two questions I have to ask.
Go ahead.
The first one's kind of fun.
I knew the question about drug addiction was going to lead to border and mental institutions somehow. Like, I knew that. He addressed none of the serious questions that Mike asked as far as like, how do you deal with drug addiction in this country? He went, we're going to kill drug dealers, closing the border.
Aliens. I want to talk to you about aliens. Yeah.
So this shit, for the record, is my least favorite Trump shit, okay? Because I hate that he gets conspiracy dudes in the pocket by leaning on this. I know exactly what he's going to say. He's going to, we're going to look into it. We're going to reveal some of the stuff. It's like, bro, you were the president. He did this with fucking JFK files. He did this with 9/11. And then he did none of it. He didn't release any of this shit. He was president for 4 fucking years, dude. I hate that. I hate that he always does this. He always does this shit where he's like, yeah, I'm going to fucking leak everything. He tried to, but they got him for classified documents. Oh my God, that's such a good conspiracy theory. Yeah, actually, all the classified documents that he brought back to Mar-a-Lago were actually like the UAP files. I don't know why he didn't say that. Oh my God. I feel like if he had said that, he would have neutralized the whole fucking classified document saga entirely. To be like, the JFK files were there. That would be so, oh man, that shit. Wow, that's brilliant. He should have come up with that.
UFOs, UAPs.
I know.
The disclosure we've seen in Congress recently. It's confusing and upsetting a lot of Americans because there's something happening. There are unidentified aerial phenomena in the sky. We don't know what they are. Do you?
So it's such a question I do get a lot, and it's such an interesting question. I've met with pilots that look just like you, actually. Okay, they have more of a crew cut. Okay, they look like him and they look like you. Some of them look like you,
A little fatter.
but these are perfect people. Okay, and they're not
crazy.
conspiratorial. They're not crazy, and they tell me stories that they've seen things that you wouldn't believe. These are not people that you would say, "Gee, oh, that's
No
okay."
way. President of the United States.
But
I said, was your
Who
phone
is it?
silent?
That's Joe Biden wanting to do an interview. So I've met with pilots like beautiful Tom Cruise, but taller.
Yeah.
Okay. Handsome, perfect people. Sir, there was something there that was round and
This is such a classic Trump, too. Beautiful pilots, straight out of Central Casting. They're beautiful. Don't we love them, folks? We love our beautiful pilots. They are so beautiful.
form and
Tom Cruise, but taller.
going like 4 times faster than my super jet fighter plane. And I look at these guys and they really mean it.
Yeah.
And am I a believer? No, I can't say I am. But I have met with people that are serious people that say there's some really strange things that they see flying around out there. And, you know, if you go to Nevada and you look at that little section of where they go to look at the aliens, where they think all the aliens are landing, that, you know, it's I think it's maybe the #1 tourist attraction in the United States.
Roswell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roswell. I think it's the #1. It's the lines of people waiting. You have no idea how many times I'm asked that question.
But don't you have access to that information?
I have access.
Wow. Now this motherfucker has follow-up questions. See, when he's in the pocket, when it's something that when he has something that he's like genuinely interested in, he's like, well, what do you mean? Wait, what? Oh, you were the president though. Like, didn't you have access to the files? Which is correct.
But I speak to people about it. I've had actually meetings on it, and they will tell you there's something going on. When they say things are going 4 times faster than my beautiful top of the line airplane that goes, you know, real fast.
With no identifiable propulsion
Mach
system.
2, right?
These things are creating their own gravity fields, allegedly.
Folks, Biden put Roswell back in New Mexico. Under my leadership, it was in Nevada. That's the tourism hub of the world. Everyone's coming. All tourism hub of the universe. Get it? Because aliens are there. They're coming from all around, not just the planet, but all around the universe. Illegal aliens.
Allegedly.
Well, they have people that are very smart and very solid have said they believe there is something.
It's so obvious that Trump absolutely doesn't think aliens are real or doesn't care. No, he doesn't think they're real. He'll entertain the prospect to be like, yeah, I'm going to reveal the files or whatever. But like, no, of course, dude. Come on. He admitted he doesn't believe that they're real. That should just destroy the fucking conversation.
Something out there. And, you know, it makes sense that there could be. I've never been convinced, even despite that. You know, I just, for some reason, it's not my thing. But a lot of people believe that it's true. A lot of very good, solid people believe it's true.
What? And you
I know
have,
there are illegal aliens out there, but those are the ones that come through the border. We have plenty of them. Those are the ones I know. When you say aliens, I say, are they illegal aliens? These might be illegal, but we don't want to test them.
Yeah.
Because if they can go 4 times faster, we're not going to test them. So it's
What
an
is
interesting
he
question.
saying?
For sure.
is there a chance that one of these orgs is potentially hiding information from you about aliens?
I guess so. It's you have the deep state, and you do have a deep state, and certainly they could. But I don't think on this subject. I was interested in it because I've been asked so many times, and I talk to people that have said that they've, it was a sighting. And it's very believable. It's very possible that there is something. And why wouldn't there be? You take a look at the universe and you see all of the different planets, and you see this, look, here we are on one relatively small planet. Why wouldn't there be on a planet that's, 400 times the size? Why wouldn't there be somebody? It's certainly believable to me.
The thought of it freaks me out. It's weird to think that we potentially are only the source of life in like an infinite, ever expanding universe. But technology.
But they'd never be able to take you in a fight.
No chance.
I'll bet on you.
No chance. Send me in.
I'll bet on you.
Send me in. Send me in, my brother. We'll handle it.
That's a good team.
And if we don't come back, I'm sure people will be happy about that too.
The two of you will come back and say hello. Say hello to him, by the way.
I will.
He's a great guy.
Maybe Elon could get you guys there. You a fan of Elon Musk?
I think Elon might be good for this question. He's a terrific. I looked at the ship that went up, the spaceship, and I never saw this before. I saw this is like 2 years ago. I see the motors coming down, the engines coming down. No wings, no anything. And I say, what is going on?
Yeah.
And nobody ever saw that before. And if you didn't have him, you probably wouldn't be seeing it, And I called him, I said, what's that? He says, well, we want to be able to reuse the engines. I said, they don't have wings, they don't have anything, and they're landing on a platform in the middle of the ocean. I said, how cool is that? I thought I saw it all, but no, he's a very...
No, he doesn't hate Elon Musk. He wants his money. And also Elon is obviously very right-wing now. So, I don't think he's a hater of Elon Musk no longer.
He's a spectacular guy.
Well, I mean, between PayPal, Neuralink, Starlink, Tesla,
Yeah.
SpaceX.
Oh, God. Logan Paul, Elon Glazer, of course.
And other things.
Yeah, he's probably one of the greatest minds of our generation.
AI, very big, He's
That's
a big,
what I wanted to ask about. It was the second question because, technology is improving at a rapid pace.
That's right.
At a pace humanity's never seen before. And the most recent development in technology that is alarming but also cool is artificial intelligence, AI.
Technology is developing at a rapid pace, previously unseen, and then turning around and being like, AI is developing at a rapid pace.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be eventually to a point where we're not able to tell what's real and what's fake. The era of truth.
Dude, I feel like Elon glazing immediately is just so it's more off-putting than anything else Logan Paul could have said for me. Straight up. I don't know what it is. Immediately I'm like, that's the dumb guy flag for me. It automatically I flag you. Immediately I suspect that perhaps I may have been too charitable. You're so fake for this? Okay, bro. I'm fake because at the top of the hour there's a 3-minute ad break and you thought that you could fucking bait me by saying you're so fake for this. Yeah. Oh, got it. What is this? We need to extend the sports segment by at least enough 45 minutes to passively purge the moral hardline mindset of politics frogs. In addition, you must expand outside of North American sports. The World Cup on the rise. Think about it. You could debate Neymar in Miami as the first political soccer influencer. I agree. I fucking despise Elon glazing is a bridge too far. Thanks for so much for platforming this podcast on. I normally would have watched this, but after viewing, I've decided to cast my ballot for Donald Trump this fall. Hell yeah, brother. That's the reason why I'm doing it. Pause. Where's your shirt from? It's 100 Thieves collab with Malbon, I think. It's a golf brand. Please look at this absurd Elon glazing tweet. It's a screenshot. It was reported in an SEC filing. I don't want to live in a world where the number one person on this list is slightly less rich, and now I don't have to. Thank you, Tesla retail shareholders, for standing up for rich people everywhere. When I see Elon glazing to this degree, I don't want to live in this world any longer. Okay? It just kills me.
I believe is probably slowly, unfortunately, coming to an end.
Would you glaze Elon if you came on your stream? I would glaze Trump before I glaze Elon, straight up.
What do you think the government's role in enabling, protecting, or governing AI should be in general? Should this superpower become what we believe it probably will be?
Well, it is a superpower.
I gotta pee.
You want to be right at the beginning of it, but it is very disconcerting. I said, you used the word alarming. It is alarming, when I saw a picture of me promoting a product, and I could not tell. The voice was perfect. The lips moved perfectly with every word. The way you couldn't, if you were a lip reader, you'd say it's absolutely perfect. And that's scary in particular, in one way. If you're the president of the United States and you announce that 13 missiles have been sent to, let's not use the name of a country, we have just sent 13 nuclear missiles heading to somewhere, and they will hit their targets in 12 minutes and 59 seconds. And you're that country. And there's no way of detecting. You know, I asked Elon, is there any way that, like Russia or China, can say that that's not really President Trump? He said there's no way.
They'd have to rely on secondary
They
first
have to-
alert.
No, they have to
systems.
rely on a code that if you don't have a certain code, who the hell's going to check? You got like 12 minutes. And let's check the code. Gee, how's everything doing? So what do they do when they see this, right? They have maybe a counterattack. It's so dangerous in that way. Okay. In another way, it's so incredible that what they do is so incredible. I've seen it. I just got back from San Francisco. I met with incredible people in San Francisco, and we talked about this. This subject is hot on their plates, you know, the super geniuses.
Yep.
And they gave me $12 million for the campaign, which, you know, 4 years ago, they probably wouldn't have. We had thousands of people in the streets. You saw it. It just happened this last weekend.
Yep.
I met with incredible people, actually. And this is what everyone's talking about with all of the technology. These are the real technology people. They're talking about AI. And they showed me things, but I've seen things that are so, you wouldn't even think it's possible. But in terms of copycat, now, to a lesser extent, they can make a commercial. I saw this.
Yeah.
They made a commercial of me promoting a product, and it wasn't me. And I said, did I make that commercial? Did I forget that I made that commercial? It is so unbelievable. So it brings with it difficulty, but we have to be at the forefront. It's going to happen. And if it's going to happen, we have to take the lead over China. China's the primary threat in terms of that. And you know what they need more than anything else is electricity.
Yeah, because China won't fucking let that shit. China won't let that shit impact their own citizens in a bad way, but Americans absolutely would. The American government would absolutely allow scammers to just cook its own citizens.
They have to have electricity, massive amounts of electricity. I don't know if you know that, in order to do these, essentially it's a plant. And the electricity needs are greater than anything we've ever needed before to do AI at the highest level. And China will produce it because they'll do whatever you have to do, whereas we have environmental impact people, and you know we have a lot of people trying to hold us back. But massive amounts of electricity are needed in order to do AI. And we're going to have to generate a whole different level of energy, and we can do it, and I think we should do it, but we have to be very careful with it, right? We have to watch it. But it's, you know, the words you use were exactly right. It's the words a lot of smart people are using. You know, there are those people that say it takes over the human race. It's really powerful stuff.
I'm Chinese and I'm so fucking glad our politicians are boring as fuck and aren't doing podcasts with fucking bitty influencers. Holy shit. That'd be kind of sick though. Imagine if Xi were to do a podcast with this guy. I mean, think about the possibilities.
AI. So let's see how it all works out. But I think as long as it's there, it's
plays out.
And that's just AI. What about when it becomes SI or super
yeah,
intelligence?
no. Then they'll have super AI, right? It's super duper AI. But what it does is so crazy.
It's amazing.
It's crazy.
Now, it can also be really used for good. I mean, things can happen. I had a speech rewritten by AI out there, one of the top people. He said, "Oh, you're going to make a speech?" Yeah. He goes, click, click, click. And like 15 seconds later, he shows me my speech.
That's crazy.
Written.
That's crazy.
So beautifully.
No, it's not. It's not. That's not crazy at all. It probably sucked. And also, not only did it probably suck, but Trump's speeches are pretty fucking boring in general. Oh my God, I'm losing my mind. Oh.
I said, I'm going to use this sucker. I've never seen anything like it.
What'd you say to your speechwriter after that?
You're
I
fired.
said, yeah, I said,
Yeah, there's no fucking there's no chat GPT that hits bars like never fight uphill me boys. This chatter that said it is right. Never fight uphill me boys. There's no chat GPT that fucking hits a script where he's talking about like sharks. They're dangerous, folks. What if you have an electric boat powered by a battery, most powerful battery? Electric boat is capsized. What would you do? I asked that question to the engineer. He said, sir, no one's ever asked this question before. It's brilliant. I told him I wouldn't jump in the water. I'd rather get electrocuted than die by the shark.
you're fired, Vince. Get the hell out of here. No. This was so crazy. It took it and it made it unbelievable. And it's so fast. You just say, I'm writing a speech about these two young, beautiful men that are great fighters and sort of great at a lot of things. And tell me about them and say some nice things. And period. And then that comes out. Logan in particular is a great champion. Jake is also good. See, I'm doing that only because you happen to be. But no, it comes out with the most beautiful.
Bro, he's glazing. Bro, what is the president doing? That's the motherfucking ex-president, bro. He's glazing Logan Paul. What planet are we living on? Oh my God, dude. He loves the Paul bros. He actually fucking loves the Paul brothers. Like, this is... what is happening? It's every day, folks. With the Disney Channel flow, that GPT could never write that. Bars. Yeah, I joked about Eric Trump killing himself after seeing that snippet of Trump laughing for the first time ever in his life. But honestly, after this interview, both Don Jr. and Eric killed themselves. Like, they did a dual suicide, bro. Don and Eric, double suicide. Rest in piss. He literally wishes Jake and Logan Paul were his children.
Beautiful writing. So one industry I think that will be gone are these wonderful speechwriters. I've never seen anything like it, and so quickly. A matter of literally minutes, it's done. So it's a little bit scary.
Well, as you said, let's see how this plays out. I did get the wrap it up because I do believe your team and I want to shoot a TikTok with you.
Oh, that's good. I'm on TikTok.
We saw your first video, 120 million views. It blew up.
We have a lot of views. I don't know how many, but it was a lot. We did it with Dana.
You went viral.
And we were sort of getting ready to walk into the arena, and it was.
Are you triggered? Wait, what? You're just jealous he's not glazing? Why would I be triggered by
a lot
this?
of crowd, and there wasn't a negative voice in the whole house. It was pretty amazing.
Let's do it again.
I want to respect your time. I'd like to grab a couple photos, shoot this TikTok.
Absolutely.
120 million views on the way.
Absolutely.
But thank you for joining us on Impulsive, Mr. President.
It's an honor to be with you. You guys are great.
Yeah.
And good luck with your book over here. That's important stuff.
Thank you so much.
An incredible job you did to get out of it, right?
If you're ever bored on a plane to Tuscaloosa or something, you want to give it a
Yeah, bro, he doesn't know how to read, okay? Come on, Michael. It's not happening. Let's be real, big dog.
I'm going to be reading it. I think it's such an important subject. One of the most important subjects, actually. It's great that you did it.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this episode of Impulsive. Donald Trump, Mr. President. We love you. Hit that subscribe button. We'll see you next time. Take it easy. Peace.
Man, it was wonderful that this happened. Hello, I can only speak Japanese, but I came to watch the broadcast with Google Translate to enjoy the atmosphere, and it is morning in Japan. Hope you have a good day. Each other. Pog. Hi. It's wonderful. It's over. You guys are fucking ridiculous. I'm so happy that they did this. I'm glad that they did this. I'm glazing. I don't give a fuck, okay? I wish there was more content in it, honestly. I do. I wish there was more content. It was like kind of, I wish there were more like funny moments from Trump. And I stand on it. I stand by my unironic defense of Mike. Good dude. Like him. Don't give a shit if you don't. It was fire. Stop hating. No, I mean, it was decent. You platformed this. You platformed this Nazi sympathizer last year. How dare you was on? I know. And this year too.
no so intimately what it feels like to be at the end.
Yeah.
I lived there for so long, bro, to a point where I was sure that this was what my life was. There was no future. It was just, this is how my life went. This is how I lived. And, you know, my mom sat by the phone every night waiting for the call, like, yo, your son overdosed or was shot to death in a deal gone wrong. Like, that was my life. And so when I see these,
Seem chill on the pod. I don't know anything about him. Sucks if he's a piece of shit conservative though. No, man, he's not. Like, he is not a piece of shit conservative at all. It's funny because, like, I started this podcast saying exactly that to him, to his face. I thought he was an asshole because I saw him as like Logan Paul's co-host and he looks the way he does. And I would sometimes see him. Out and about. Like, we would go to the same parties and everything. And I always thought he was a fucking asshole. Then he was really good friends with Jeff. And I love Jeff, as you guys know, Jeff Woodek. And when I noticed that, like, he was good friends with Jeff, I was like, what's up with this Mike guy? Is he chill, dude? He's like, yeah, he's good people. That is what changed my perception of him. But once again, unimaginably disappointing to see a shit ton of people also operating on those same assumptions and not even like taking what I have to say as a trusted person. I would expect you to at least trust me, but nope. Bad dude. I've made up my mind. Why did you drop your leftist principles as soon as Cloud is involved? I know. That's what it is. Not because he's like an open-minded person and overall very empathetic and the best you can expect from a normie. But instead, I should be immediately fucking treating him like he's like Tim Pool or something.
Women really want and why they do the things they do. The first thing we'll do is, of course, we'll address the pure viral video with...
Nothing I do is performative. So I'm not going to, for instance... I'll use Hasan as an example. I'm not going to talk to a black person like Trihex and say, hey, the N-word, it's always black. What do you think black people? What a liar, dude. What a Weasley little liar, dude. What a Weasley little liar, dude. Holy shit, dude. Holy shit, dude. Literally lying. Still lying to his audience. Can someone at least enlighten Destiny that he's literally lying to his audience? What a piece of shit, dude. Holy America deserved 9/11, dude. I'm saying it.
We're there to partner with them. We're not there doing our own thing. We're there partnering and training
in a video
and
game,
equipping and enhancing their capabilities. So that's part of what we're doing. And the other part is just knowledge. We want to know what's happening.
Like we totally brought it on ourselves, dude. Holy shit. We did. We did in a video game.
Amazing.